Hello, Aries, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 16th through the 23rd. And during that time, we have a new moon that comes in on the 17th. So that gives you a little bit of time to be thinking about what new things would you like to start for this cycle. So this is the time of new beginnings when you might learn something new or start a new project or make new decisions. So keep that in mind. We then have the waxing crescent moon for the rest of the week. And that is just a time when our senses are heightened and we're executing. I will get my mouth working at some point, executing those things that we've just started on the new moon. So it's just a good time for us to live up to our own expectations and intentions. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Aries. So as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is to work through your fears. All right, let's see what the Aries Collective might have going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder is that you do take the time to learn something new. It's just the best time for that this week. Maybe there's a new exercise routine you've been wanting to try. Maybe there's a book with some information in it that you've been wanting to check out and learn about. So, just find something that's new to you this week and just make a point to give yourself a little bit of time to learn something new. So that's my fun weekly reminder for you. And it just kind of goes along with that moon energy. It's a good time. I will probably learn something about gardening because it's that time of year and I'll learn about a plant. Or a couple of them, hopefully. All right, let's get into this reading. Aries, May 16th through the 23rd. Work through your fears. Your present energy right now, Aries, is the Hermit card. So, are you in hiding somewhere? Are you trying to lay low and be quiet? Sometimes we all have that little hermit mode that we go into where there's inner searching. It can be brought on by something you've been going through or, something in your recent past. But in this reading, it might be something that you're afraid of. So you're kind of inner searching, looking for that wisdom, trying to drum up some sort of courage for something. But, hermit time isn't a bad time, but we don't want to get stuck in hermit mode for weeks and weeks. You want to make sure that you're stepping back out, get in there, learn the things that you need to, shut off from the rest of the world sometimes, but you just don't want to get totally stuck in that, right? Your current situation right now is that maybe you're just a little bit dissatisfied with what the universe is giving you. That's definitely what the Four of Cups here denotes. So, you know, sometimes when that happens, and you're just, again, if this is about working through your fears, there might be something that you're rejecting. Um, and if you didn't reject it, it might lead you to the thing that you actually want. This is, sometimes when I'm going to say that this is just a silly example. I asked the universe for some chocolate ice cream, and the universe brought me vanilla ice cream, and I didn't really want vanilla, so I'm not really thrilled about this. But what I didn't know was that if I would have accepted that vanilla ice cream right after that, someone was coming along with some hot chocolate, some hot fudge or whatever to put on so it's like saying yes to a thing sometimes will lead to the thing that you actually want. So keep that in mind. There's something that you're just not thrilled about how the universe is offering it to you right now. Let's keep going and see what happens here. At the root of your situation, okay, is the Four of Wands. So we've got a couple of fours now. Four of Wands, this is about a celebration. This is about, many times this is a card about a wedding, right? So this is just people gathering, being joyful. And is there something that you're disappointed there? There's so many different ways I could read this. For some of you, it's a fear of this. It's maybe a fear of marriage or a fear of long-term commitment. For some of you, it's a wedding that maybe you're a part of that you're not really thrilled about being a part of, that there's something you're a little disappointed about there. There's so many different ways to read this, but at the root of the situation has to do with some sort of event that should be joyful, some sort of gathering. And why isn't it joyful for you? There might just be some little issue that you've had or some fear that you have about it, that it's kind of taking the fun out of it a little bit, knocking the wind out of your sails. What is in your recent past here? Well, is something, there is some kind of grief. So, is there something that you are getting over here, Aries, that maybe this is bringing up? And it very well could be, weddings, anytime we have big events in life that, there can be disappointments about an earlier relationship for you. It could be just something that's a little heartbreaking that a wedding might bring up for you, past relationships, that sort of thing. Maybe the people involved, that could be a little sticky if, say that you get a wedding invitation, it's your ex, that's a little bit to work through, right? I could see why you might just kind of be in hermit mode and a little disappointed by everything. So there's so many, again, tarot's a template, so many different ways you could read this into different situations, kind of depending on where you are in your life right now. But it looks like you have had, this is bringing up some kind of past grief for you. What is on your mind this week is the Page of Wands. So you really are trying to nurture something that is new to you. You're trying to nurture some sort of new excitement, some sort of new passion, right? So that's on your mind, and maybe you're just having trouble just getting yourself out and doing it. And like I said, you can stay at hermit mode for a while, and you can really go and do those deep thinking times, those times of solitude when, you just kind of shut everybody else off and you just do that deep thinking. But, hopefully on your mind here is that you do need to kind of get out of that mode. You can't stay in there forever. And what is the new passion? What is the thing that's going to maybe, get your mind off of this, especially if you've come to, um, if you are working through some sort of fears about it. I mean, this could be fears about your own wedding. This could be fears about attending a wedding. It could be fears that, maybe you have a sibling that's getting married and you're worried about them for whatever reason. So again, there's so many different situations that it could be, but you're getting over those fears this week and trying to nurture something new. And like I said, it's a good time to start new things, learn new things. So be thinking about that. What is something new I can pull in that kind of, let me work through whatever this is and pull in something new so that my energy, it kind of picks me up a little bit. What is just ahead of you this week is the Strength card. So there you go. Working through your fears requires inner strength. And I do think this is why you're digging deep here with this Hermit. So of course you're going to find that. You're going to find that inner strength and say, you know what, it's all going to be okay. It's all going to work out. I'm strong enough to get through this. What do they say? The universe doesn't give you anything that you're not strong enough to work through. So, that's coming this week. And I think that's great. I mean, you're just going to have to work through it and pull that strength from inside of you. This is how we meet the challenge with something. We get to a point where we feel like we can control a thing, or what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like the discipline. If you're having inner conflict, it's the discipline to work that out and again step forward and start the new thing for yourself. In your advice position here, Aries, is the World card. Yeah, why are we going to live in this disappointment here when you've got, you literally, the world is your oyster? This is the card of dreams materialize, perfect balance, things that are in harmony. This is the very end of the Fool's journey in the major arcana of the tarot, and it's like the happy ending. So the advice is to really, if you're feeling that, if you're feeling the pessimistic side of something, it is try to it's this is telling you to try to really dig for that optimism, to kind of see the other side, to see the brighter side of this. In let's see, what is beyond your control this week is the Ace of Pentacles. So some new financial opportunity or material opportunity may come your way this week. So be on the lookout for that. It's just kind of beyond your control. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Queen of Wands. So hopefully that's your secret desire, because the Queen of Wands is about understanding the things that drive our passions, and not only us, but also the people around us. So the people in your kingdom, in your area, you can kind of see, what drives people passionately, what people are drawn to. And if you're nurturing some new passion, that's something that you might appreciate is, let's say that this new passion is some new art form that you're maybe taking up or entering. When you look around and you see friends and family that are like, oh yeah, this person is really guided and really, they put their time into this passion that they do, and look what it pays off. I mean, they just seem more joyful, and that is true. Anytime that you make sure that you're engaging in something that you're passionate about, it just makes life more fun. You want to get out of bed in the morning, even if you have to do the day to day, the things that none of us want to do, you get up and get those things done so that you can focus on your passion. What is in your outcome this week, Aries, is the Emperor. So this is about building something. This is about leadership and having a clear vision about the future. And this is a big week for you only because I'm seeing, let's see, we've got four major arcana cards. One, two, three, four. Anytime I see three or four, this is kind of a big realization for you. And I do think it's overcoming your fears. Exactly what your overall card says. You've got to work through these fears to get to this place where you have the confidence to build something for yourself, to build something new. And again, even if it's just some new passion that you're nurturing, and this could be anything, anything under the sun, really. I mentioned an art form, but it could be some exercise that you're really getting into. Maybe you're taking up running, and that's your new passion, and you're just excited to get up and do that every day. So, but it's about building and building, using kind of building blocks to build on what you've started and how you're going to build that for the future and how you're going to kind of maintain that. And again, it's the new moon this week, so it is a good time to start new things if it's something new for you. All right, let's get you a final message here. Actually, no, what is hidden from you? I forgot. Hidden from you at the bottom of the deck. Look, the ultimate happiness card with the 10 of cups. So this is much like the world card. That's kind of hidden. I mean, I think as you work through these fears, I wouldn't be surprised to see this card in your reading next week, but you're working through things and realizing again you're going to try to remain optimistic about things so that you can get to a point where you can kind of rebuild and get over whatever this fear that you've had to work through. And don't think that this is something that everyone has to do. We all face things that we're like, oh, that's a little scary, I don't want to do that. I want to go through that. And it is just about grabbing that by the horns and saying, okay, look, it's probably not good, and it is never as bad as you think it's going to be, right? All right, let's get you a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Aries for this week as they're working through the fear is to make a plan. How perfect is that? Make a plan, and actually, again, it's new moon week. So making a plan and then just putting that plan to work. Can you stick to it? I mean, Aries, you guys tend to be very competitive, and I feel like even if it's just you against you, you're making a better you, right? I hope that made sense. But be competitive with the old version of you, and that'll be fine if you think of it that way and make a plan. I think you're going to be successful and be able to build on anything that you do give a start to this week. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Aries this week. Self-care for Aries, May 16th through the 23rd. Okay, and the card that you get is the card called Rebel. It's time to celebrate the fact that you don't fit in. Stand on your own 2 feet. So time to be the rebel there. If you don't fit in, stand on your own 2 feet, do your own thing. There could be something that you're trying to force here, and you just have to do the thing that you want to do, the thing that drives you, the thing that you're passionate about. But again, try to remain optimistic as much as you can as you're working through whatever this fear is. Again, it could be so different for different areas. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know, what kind of fears have you been working through. Did you make a plan? Do you feel like things are lightening up? Are you starting to build off what you're learning? So drop me a comment and let me know if you're comfortable doing so. If not, that's okay too. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Also, if you like my reading style, Aries, um, all you have to do is hit like and subscribe. It's really, really helpful to me, and I thank you, of course, in advance for doing that. So thanks so much for being here. I want to wish you the best of luck with all of this. I hope this reading is to some use for your life this week. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.